I understand it now.
Okay, now let's do another fear. Let's deal with the fear of the flu of the swine.
Okay.
To bring you back to full circle, some people have germ phobias. You see, they're afraid of germs. They're afraid of going to the bathroom in a strange place. They're afraid of leaving their home. They're afraid of spiders, snakes, light, dark, water, height, falling, themselves, relationships. You don't see picophobia. I mean, it's quite rampant. And how you expose those are coming to a place every single time, without fail or exception, is you either expose them or you not push away from them, but embrace them. Embrace them. And when you embrace them, the non-physical part of you kicks in, and it's a resistance-less reality. So therefore, there's nothing they can do to you, fear-wise. There's nothing you can do to yourself, because now force has taken over that process, and you're copying good cells over and over and over and over. Oh, that's what your doctors call a healthy immune system, by the way. Immune system, isn't that interesting? They come into a place where in every aspect of your knowingness, nothing can have any power over you that you don't allow. So every conversation is two conversations. So your listener has asked the question, how to overcome fear. And one way to do it is to expose it, enlighten it. You'll become enlightened. So now it's all exposed. Every aspect of that fear has now been acknowledged. It's witnessable, you see. And then, or two, embrace it. Meaning, if someone comes to you and they want to rob you, and you've lined up with being robbed, and then they decide that you can identify them, so they put the 9mm to your head, and they get full of a thing to make it be ready to fire, and you very confidently, very easily, very knowingly say, go ahead. Who is your actor that would say, make my day? Because in that aspect, if you're not lined up with leaving your physicalness and going to non-physical, fear of death would be what we would be speaking about, then guess what? Even if he pulled the trigger, the gun wouldn't fire. Or even if it was pointed to your temple, he would miss. Even, you see what I mean? Once you come in that place, if you're not being in the vortex alignment of leaving your physical body, then that will not be your experience.
Oh boy.
Even if you had
where all those tones came from.
That came from me, but sorry about that.
Oh, okay. Very, very wonderful. But it didn't cause a fear in anyone, I hope.
No.
I think it probably released some.
Ah, marvelous, marvelous, marvelous. So, in that aspect or place, then you can have no fear, or you can become fearless. And that's the basic cognizant reality of coming into your power. You see? And once that comes into the place where you're not pushing against anything, there's no room to activate a fear cell that would replicate and become a great big thing. But if you have a little bit of fear and you don't do anything about it as far as either exposing it or embracing it or just almost ignoring it sometimes. But now, on a good agoraphobic, you'd have a hard time conveying it that way, because everything in their knowingness says, I cannot go outside, you see. I must stay in my home thing. Well, but if that's the facet of joy, there's nothing wrong with that, you see. But once you come into the place of addressing it, exposing it, or embracing it, then it becomes not really a big deal, okay? And if it's not a big deal, then, wait a minute, what are we talking about? Fear. If it's not a big deal, then the fear is diminished and or eliminated from your experience.
So Roosevelt was wrong when he said We have nothing to fear but fear itself. He was
That's
creating
not
the
what
fear.
he said. That's not what he said. He said the only thing there is to fear is fear itself.
And he meant what you've been saying, but it could have been interpreted as, well, that's just another fear.
Correct. 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 The Buddhists, for centuries, they say that if you can quench desire or wanting, that the product of that is enlightenment. And so we just simply ask the question, is the quenching of fear, the quenching of a desire, is that not a desire? Do you not want that in your experience? So, therefore, you have to have a desire to get the enlightenment, but the reason you get the desire is to push against something in your reality. It almost seems the same way that fear is grown, I guess, or expanded, you say.
Yeah,
It rarely starts as a great big thing. It's only a little bitty thing that grows into a great big thing.
It's not a static ghost.
Well, unless that's your desire.
Is fear part of the human process of evolution? Overcoming our fears, are they necessary things to have to grow, or are they just misunderstandings because of bad teaching?
And the answer would be yes, but we'll develop from your asking. From your asking, it comes into a place of is fear contrast? And the answer is most oftentimes yes. So if fear is contrast, it is absolutely paramount in the evolutionary experience because it brings you to the place where I don't want that anymore, I already have it. You see? So just as you manifest yourself into a place of fear, you can manifest and create yourself out of a space of fear.